Hi there and welcome to my channel. This is Kate in Australia at the Journal Nest, and I'm so excited to have you with me. Thank you for taking your precious time to join me in my making. It's been a big day already, and a special shout out to Rachel from Roxy's Creations for her kindness. Like, what an amazing woman and maker she is. I have some new subbies, I think, for the first time over here. So I just wanted to share that Kate doesn't plan, but I literally can't stop making either journals or crocheting or slow stitching. So while I've been away all day, it is incredibly dark here because it's the solstice, isn't it? It's our winter shortest day. But a day is not complete without making, and as many of our fellow makers on YouTube say, we were going to make anyway, so let's invite our friends along. So here we go. I have a curiosity to start with, and that is, here's my, so it's a crowded nest tonight because I'm overly excited. 2 weeks ago, I flew back from the United States where I bought this pen and flower because it was so joyful. In the Northern Hemisphere, that pen smiled at me the right way up. And here I am in Australia, and I know we are down under, but nothing I do will make it flop the right way. So I just wanted to say that's a curiosity for me. And if anyone knows why, I'd love to know. Okay, so here is my vessel number 2, which I said I couldn't stop at. The thing about Rachel and Sarah's projects is once I start, I can't stop. So, bit of context, this neutral, natural, hold in my hand vessel, which is stuffed with things that I'm going to show you in a minute, was my first. Then I thought, okay, I work a lot in neutrals. Everything neutral needs to belong in this nest. And I work a lot in colour, so I need a colourful nest vessel for all my colourful projects, which is working well. And so I started vessel number 3, which is, get ready, Kate is going brighter and brighter and brighter. So a little bit of context for those who are joining me. The Journal Nest is really a nest. It's a sanctuary, it's a happy place, and it's where things gather together and hatch. So some would call me multimedia, I suppose, but for me, it's just all joy. So in this one and Rachel, I think, mentioned my channel this morning, so forever grateful. But this was nest number 2, and I said I couldn't stop, so put those back in. I'm finding these amazing for projects. That's why I'm going to make more and more. I started vessel number 3, which I shared with everyone that was hatching, and I'm going to give you a glimpse of that now. Different blanket from Oppie Shop, and this one, literally for the first time, I'm just going straight onto the blanket itself and adding joyful bits. So here's some crocheting, napkin, a little bit of the tablecloth that I used in vessel number 2. I've canted, stitched this. I've got applique. This is the pillowcase that I bought back from Kansas. So memories. Here's some daisy flowers. So this is how I do it. Literally, give me a long strip and Kate goes crazy. I got gifted a beautiful maker from our Green Door Studios in Robertson. Just was so generous on Tuesday and laid out all her fabrics from her stash that she didn't need, and we picked bits that we thought would work for us. So there's a little bit of the beautiful maker that she is there. I blanket stitched along. It's messy, messy, messy. But when you see this next, it will be way further along. So I have had some requests about, where do you start, Kate? So in the light of that, because I love these vessels so much, and Again, a shout out to everyone who's making vessels. I just celebrate the diversity of all of us. Some like colors, some like neutrals. You know where I'm going to go next. I'm going to have to start making, here we go, an indigo nest for my journal projects to live in, because Kate is neutrals, she's color beyond color, and she's indigo and neutrals and pops. So there'll be more of these vessels. As I said, it's been the most wonderful project, volume prompt 5, isn't it? Volume 5, prompt 5. Okay, but people have asked me today to show where I start, and I'm going to do that now because I want to start this size floppy nest in a neutral, so that I've got a baby nest, a bigger nest, and maybe a tiny little vessel like Pam's, perhaps, because this one you can see fits a little bit, but I still need a bigger nest underneath it. So I'm going to put colour aside for a moment, but I suppose the concept is, if you want to make one of these vessels, you need a long piece of material. I've been so inspired by Rachel and Sarah, and I have to say, for that reason, I do not measure. So I'm not going to be one who says to you, go a metre or 7 inches or whatever, because I have no idea. I just feel it. So to start us off, sorry about the shadow, it's so dark here. I'm going to take you right from the very beginning. I went into my sewing nest and I just cut a length of this blanket, and my choice was, because it had been folded up, it was in 3 pieces. So I thought, okay, those 3 lengths belong together. So once that was done, I went into my stash of, because this is going to be a big neutral nest, I went in and I thought, what would be a piece of fabric that would suit this? And this is an unfinished piece of embroidery from the sewing basket, and I love that it has no stitching, but it does have the name of the design, the size, Semco, and it has these holes that I love to use in my work, plus a little bit of, well, quite a lot of the design. So that is going to be my first piece. And because I know some of you want to know from the very beginning, I want to just give you confidence. So that blue doesn't belong. It's the selvage of this blanket, which I featured in my colourful one, but it doesn't belong on this project. So love blanketing, just pull that off. So now we've got neutral, and I'm a messy edge lover. So that's going to go on there. We'll come back and pin that and start to work some pieces. So that, there we go. That is where you start a big floppy vessel. So that's the side. Now we need a base. So in this nest over here, okay, it's trying, oh, sorry, I haven't even asked you how you are. I have been rambling on, which is my style. But Kate, pause and say, how are you all, lovelies? Are you feeling good? Looking forward to the weekend? How was your day? Sending blessings for wherever you are up to in this beautiful community of ours. Okay, so here's a piece of blanket. This is a piece of vintage apron that I bought back from the States that I want to use on the outside. Here's my basket. Someone said they wanted to see the empty basket, so here it is. So this is my baby prototype, using lots of crochet, a little bit of stitching. I've shared this many times, but just to say that that is going to be the inspiration for the next one. So we need a center. So with the strip, I don't worry too much about the center because I always put, or base, because I put something over the top of it. So let's start. Go to your pantry or cupboard and find something that looks the right size. And this is Kate's plate, vintage, random collector. And so this is my love of blue being shared with you. So here we go. Ooh. So, would there be a pen or something that I could make a mark on this with? Forgot to bring down my felt tip. Very nice. Sorry everyone, you could make a cup of tea or something. Let's see if a pencil makes a mark. Yes, it does. Okay, so here's a piece of the blanket. This is going to be the what goes in the middle. So this is very much a make from scratch, me being brave and bold. Got shadow there, sorry. So let's just cut around here. As I said to so many at the Green Door on Tuesday, isn't this incredible that so many thousands of us have been inspired by Sarah and Rachel's idea with the Journal of Stitchery, and that we can't stop doing it, and that already we're dreaming of the next prompt. And I thought I had to be finished vessel 3 by this week, but then now I've realized there's another week of June, so we can keep going. All right, so now I've got that circle. I know I need to make an up and a base, if that makes sense. Okay, it's crazy language. So I want to get some holes and I want to get some embroidery. Okay, so let's do it this way. And I do really want to acknowledge that my way will not be the same as your way, and that's what I love about this project, about all of us being us and doing ourselves. But Kate does need to find her needle book because it's got some pins in it. Okay, got that. Yellow is bright. So some pins. Someone has asked about my crocheting and how I made this flap. I will share that. I have so many projects in my head. That's why I literally can't stop. Okay, so let's, oh, look at that. I brought that back from the States with me and it just fell out then. Beautiful reminder that 2 weeks ago, I was with the beautiful people. Okay, all people are beautiful. So let's get bigger scissors, Kate. So what was I saying? We're all different makers, and some of you would be finding this stressful and going, I can't just cut out a circle without measuring it. That is okay. Just do you, and I'm doing me. And my purpose is to just be one of you and share the making process and forever grateful, as I said, to Rachel and Sarah and their mum Judy, because I've just found joy in my life again just through this making process. Can there be anything better? All right, so I have now an inside and an outside that have been made completely by randomness. And at this point, I don't know which one's going to be. Well, my last nest ended up being reversible. So you will say to me, and you can see already that that's wonky on the outside, and it's just a matter, but I usually do this after I've stitched it. So my first step now would be just to stitch around and see, look, I don't mind that, because I just make it into something that will work. So here we go. Let's start putting the ideas together. I've got some thread and I've got some more. Just depends on how our timing goes. It's just a bit of a pause. Okay, it remembers where she put the original piece. So say bye-bye to willow plate, but gee, doesn't that belong with my indigo set? That could be an inspiration for next time. Okay, I'm going to sit down and we're going to do some sewing, stitching. So at this point, I'm going back to my long piece just so that I can help you understand. Pretty soon, I'm thinking this will be one of the insides. This will gather around and become the edge of this neutral nest. Right, so with a base and with a side. And I end up putting them together pretty early in the process, because then you can see what you want to highlight on the outside and the material just starts to speak to you. So let's go all neutral for a moment and then see how far we go. So you could use anything for the inside, the outside. I'm actually just making sure I've got these raggy ends together. And I often think most about the middle. So, you know, where do you want to start focusing your design? And in my colourful world of stitchery, okay, so this is where I'm thinking this end is more raggy than where I had it, so I want that to show up above. Okay, good, that feels better. So pin this together and let's just start, because I want to sort of fast forward for you. Oh, I haven't tied a knot. I'll just do a double stitch. What's that pink doing there? Can you believe that it's the end of June? Oh my God. And I had a lovely day today. I drove to Canberra, which is, I'd say, 2 hours, the national capital of Australia. I'm in New South Wales and they're in the ACT. I met my friend for coffee, did a little shop, got my hair done, had lunch with my son, went to an oppie, but there were no doilies, no embroideries, because I wanted to share what I'd found when I made my video upon coming home, but nothing. My husband said, "Are you getting low?" And I said, "Well, you can never have too many, can you?" And I love the stories behind where you get your bits and pieces from. So nothing new to share, which is probably quite realistic, that we depend on our stashes. Okay, so I've just started anchoring this down, and now I think, okay, let's start to think about how to add some layers. Now, I know many of you would have pre-planned this, and I admire that so much. This is just my way. I just think sort of spontaneously that I'd like to have some of this on this piece. So, and because I really treasure the memory and the story of this. Okay, it's lost a needle, everyone, just bear with me. There we go. Oops. I'm thinking I'd like a little bit of that trim to show over the top of the nest. So we've got the curve of that line, which will make a beautiful opportunity for embroidery. So on neutral pieces, I don't tend, well, what was I going to say there? I was going to say I don't tend to use flowers as much, but there's always the first time. I am thinking of doing some crocheted pieces in ecru, or, you know, just a lovely subtle colour, and add to this. So some round shapes, just basic crochet. Okay, so there we are. Along here, stitch down the first idea of a piece, and then let's go into our basket and see what else we've got in here. So here's a piece of lace. It's a bit raggy, but I like that flower. So I might use this a little bit further on. A little bit of napkin with contrasting. Now, if you don't like napkins being torn, I just have to say that rather than being in the bottom of a barrel at Vinnie's, I love rescuing these pieces and giving them a new home. Here's a very old tag of embroidery. I like that. And in honor of Rachel, I think this is her fabric, which has got this beauty, it's linen, this beautiful stripe. So that will probably keep us going. The battery hasn't run out and my storage hasn't filled up, so let's keep going. What did they say? Make hay while the sun shines. So I don't want to lose that embroidery, and look, it's going into a rose, so we won't cover that up. So let's be a bit adventurous. This tiny bit of stitching there. suppose what I've loved most about this prompt, and in fact all the prompts, because I only started, I think, what was my first one? Not even the horsewhiff. Oh, the boxes, the covered boxes, really, is where I started. And now I'm sort of catching up backwards, if you know what I mean. I've done a horsewhiff and I need to make a neutral, natural one of those. But I suppose with the vessels, it just, as many of you who know me have said, okay, we thought of you that you'd be making this, and I have absolutely adored it. I'm going to leave that raw edge there. It's peeking over the rose, and let's now start to add some interest down here. So anything blank. So let's balance out that bit of lace and trim with this. I'm going to overlap and tuck under. So it is sort of a flower leading to a flower. So I suppose I think of it as in the way we get dressed. What's our foundation layer? What keeps us warm? What makes the vessel? And then, you know, our pieces that we want to get noticed. And then finally on top of that, our accessories, our jewelry and our dressing pieces, which end up being for me, you know, the embroidery, particular flowers or crochet pieces. See, that didn't take long. And just need to stand up and see which. I know this colour is all, it's all ecru and beige at the moment. Don't worry, it will not stay that way. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's layer that up. So we're really collaging with fabric and following that rule like we do with our paper craft, that you don't have edge to edge. Probably doesn't make sense. You don't line them up. Well, I don't line them up, you may. So please share where you're up to, and let's all start getting excited about the next prompt. I'm just looking around as I'm stitching away here because I would love, oh, I know, I can show you. So here's, I don't know what this work is called, but here's a piece of napkin that I've harvested many times already. And just to show you the organic way, if you're starting from scratch and want to try it, just gather things in your nest of complementary colours. There's no right or wrong. And have fun. So I haven't even looked at this the right way up, but I can see those curves there, those curves there, I think, so I don't make you dizzy. I'll put you up this way, and probably a little bit too much white there. Because I can see the possibilities for embroidering that bit. Okay, so our needle is over here. Let's tuck an edge in. Let's have that flower starting to work with the curves. And here we go. Be nice if Kate could show you some blanket stitch or something else, because I haven't actually got an embroidery thread in. I've got a pearl cotton, but just to add interest, let's see if we can do a blanket around here. And it may not show up on camera, but with an, actually I think I'm just going to call it a natural nest rather than neutral, because neutral sometimes means that it lacks something. These colours are so beautiful together. I'm a little behind in my comments, so if you're waiting for a reply, I will reply. I've just got to catch up. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll just keep going and then we'll have a look at it more in depth. So it's just some big blanket stitch to fix this on. Until we run out of thread, and then that's my rule: when the thread runs out, we change. Please don't criticize me if that's all been in shadow. I'm just realizing, sorry, just raced in literally in the dark. I know it's such a kind community, and I've made so many friends. Yeah, I'm thinking that I might do something different there. So let's finish this off and go down and under one extra stitch. There we go. Okay, let's just do a quick recap and talk about our inspiration. So this is a little neutral baby nest, and we're making, I don't know whether I should call it a big sister, but it's the next nest, larger size. This is how you can start from scratch. This could be wadding. You may not want to put something as a lining. I'm thinking that I'll use my coloured example and maybe keep this without a lining so that I can embroider straight on. So we have natural contrast. And never throw out anything. There's a piece that could immediately end up being a focus on the inside. Okay, so that is the start of the surrounds of our nest. Together we used a plate to cut the inside and two pieces here that will form the base, and the inspiration will continue to be really the joy of making nests. So a quick contrast to finish. If I'm going to show you very soon this one finished. So this is my vessel 3. Let's finish with a bit of colour. Colourful Kate. So work in progress there, and this one complete. And as I said, as a vessel, I would just love to encourage you to give these a go, because they store your projects And the good thing is they're not as rigid as plastic. So you can put a nest within a nest. And so this now is the home of my new project with my needlebook, which also has to be completed. So there you go. I hope that's been some fun for you while you've stitched away. Kate wants to put her new nest in her baby nest. But you can see why I need a bigger one. This one works well for my journals. So until next time, this is Kate in the Journal Nest saying thank you so much for joining me on my journey. I love, love, love having you with me. And until next time, I hope you have blessed days. Bye.